Yeah,
Let's pretend it didn't happen. It's not canon. That's a Legends
not
con.
canon.
Hello,
DLC.
Internet. We have returned. For better or for worse, we are here. And for another episode of Tales from the Yawning Portal. Now, if I remember correctly, we ended last session right as you all were descending down into the portal, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, while I go ahead and pull up the stuff that is needed, go ahead and go around the table and introduce your characters for those that may not know. Please.
Whoa. I am Sam, Lone Wolf in chat. I play Yinya Arca, aka Yin, the fallen ASMR, dexterous and semi-charismatic fighter.
My name's Alex. I'm Sharkbait in chat. I play Goblin Ranger Verm, who is very greedy for gold. That's about it.
I'm Loco 1956 in chat. I play Band-Aid, the Furbolg Cleric.
I'm Brian. I play Borg, the Bugbear Barbarian.
Forget who's next. Is it me? I'm Caleb. I play Torrent, the Drunken Master Water Genasi Monk.
Hey everybody, I am Huxley in the chat, and I play Zosamos Becky, an ex-mercenary paladin from the distant land of Chult.
Awesome. And I am Kingbashman in chat. I am the DM for this sometimes fun and sometimes brutal group of adventures here, because some of the old school stuff is just brutal that way. And for those that missed the last couple of sessions, it was kind of Halloween themed because Halloween's awesome like that, and there was a lot of RP going on. Last session was pretty much just a cut loose, have fun, wing the entire ordeal because I was unprepared to start this adventure, so that one was on me. But other than that, we will go ahead and get into it. As the lift starts to lower down into an all familiar darkness that you all have become accustomed to, this now being your third trip down into this quote yawning portal of sorts. The void of light and the area being devoid of the majority of sounds that you would normally hear no longer seems to like chill you to the bone as that first trip probably did. You're becoming accustomed to this, and I mean you're still alert, still on guard, but like that sense of panicking over what could possibly happen, what lies where you can't see, is kind of no longer there. You're just, it's like a long elevator ride. You're just kind of sitting there just thinking about whatever comes to your mind as you're just waiting for it to reach your destination. What seems like only a few moments and an eternity all at the same time seem to pass. Excuse me. Had to drink. As you feel the lift start to slow down and it comes to a stop. One thing you'll notice is with the other two stops that you've been on so far, this one just seems different. You look around, there's very little light emanating from this platform where you've arrived to. all like the other two that you've come across had very well formed out and like mason worked openings and archways and things of that nature. This one, it has an opening, but this one, you can't tell if looking at it, if it looks like someone had like excavated a passageway into there and then just didn't care to finish it out, or if something carved and made its way from the other side out, or but you're not entirely sure because all you see is what appears to just be like a lot of loose rubble, and as I mentioned, like the stonework is not refined, it's not finished like the others. Very faint light kind of peeks its way into this area that you all are in. It just and then you start to harken back to the words that Durnan gave you. Even he seemed to just not really care about this particular area. You remember him saying, yeah, we found an area that led somewhere and yeah, they didn't seem important to us, so we just left on about it. But now here you all are. You kind of look at each other with slightly puzzled look, and eventually you all just kind of silently mentally come to the agreement. Well, you know, I guess it's time to go through. So you all start to step into this passageway, and as the light begins to permeate the area stronger, you notice that unlike being in a like a well-developed or seemingly nearby civilization type of arrival, you find yourself arriving into like a thick, dense covering of green, and you all continue making your way. You get the feeling that you're kind of like in a forest, a very dense forest of sorts. And as you all are walking for a little bit, Zosa, you start looking around and kind of noticing that a lot of the styling of the trees and the vegetation and everything seems to remind you of the types of flora and plant life of Choltian origin.
Are we done descending? Are we now into the forest?
Yeah.
Okay. Zosa makes note of this, and she will. I'm gonna do a quick nature check here. Oops. Yeah. Zosa will. She's not in the front. Someone else is on point, but at this point she starts moving forward and she starts mentioning, like, you know, this looks familiar to me. This something is not right about this. These plants, it is almost like a jungle. It reminds me of home, but it does not feel like home. There is something off about it. Why would we be here? And she seems slightly distracted as she is just kind of surveying the vegetation. She doesn't exactly have her guard up, which is slightly off character for her. She does have her crossbow out and loaded and everything, but it's not like she's looking for anything to shoot at in particular. She seems mystified.
Okay.
Is there a
we know where we're supposed
well-defined
to
path?
go.
Do what?
Is there a well-defined path through this area?
Um, yes and no. Well defined, no. But anybody that if anybody is proficient in nature and or survival, finding a path through is not very difficult.
Have we seen any non-natural items or landmarks or anything? Any signposts? Any tracks
Nope.
of passersby? Zosa says, "Be on your guard. If we are where I think we are, then the magic of the Yawning Portal has taken us very far away from Waterdeep. If we are where I think we are, then trouble could round any tree branch, any tree trunk, any leaf too wide, or even from the canopy above you. Tread lightly, friends." And at this point,
Roger.
she starts taking lead.
Okay.
We don't really have a clear direction to go in, so.
No, you start. You continue. Excuse me, heading to a path, and you. It feels like you're walking for quite a long time. It feels like you've been walking through the forest for what seems like a couple hours. The view hasn't changed at all. You're almost positive that there's no way that, you know, you got twisted or turned around. All you were doing was walking straight, pretty much. Like, there's no way you got twisted or turned around. There's no way you're lost. And eventually you start to see up ahead, it looks like the edge line of the forest. You can start to see where the vegetation and the density of the trees start to thin out. And as you break the line or the plane there going into the outside edge of the forest, down in a valley almost, and by valley I mean it's just like a small hill almost, but off in the distance, at least a good couple 100 feet or more, that you can estimate, you see what looks like just a pile of rock and rubble at first, but then like you just kind of squint your eyes and tilt your head and you look, and it looks like an ancient ruined city.
Don't know about anybody else, but walking through all this jungle isn't the most fun. And there could be some cool stuff over there, or at least a break in eye relief from all the green.
Shiny?
Or possible shinies.
You thought you might know where we're at, Zosa? Do you know of this location out in front of us? Any cities that would match?
As Zosa's face, dark-skinned as she is, appears to have gone a little pale as she is watching these ruins from whatever distance we're at. She doesn't respond to your question immediately. She says, we should stay away from there, if at all possible. What leads do we have? We are here for a reason, not just to collect treasures. We are after the Blackened Blade.
And treasure's on the way.
If we have to go into these ruins, we should do so as a last resort. We shall see if there is another way around. Trust me. I do not like the way the fates are leading us today.
Did Durnan give us any info exactly on what we're looking for? Or did he just say, or drop us off at this level, I guess?
Now, you'll remember he said something about supposedly there's a hidden shrine somewhere in this area, but it never sounded like anything substantial for him or his business partner at the time to worry about investigating. Because by the time they got to that point, they were kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go, do the bar thing now.
Zos's vote would be to avoid the city if at all possible.
You seem to be knowledgeable of this area. I defer to your judgment.
Let's just say I have been to places similar to this in the past, and it was a mistake, found out. We should not go there unless we absolutely must.
We have made many mistakes so far. Let us not make another.
And Zos's eyes keep moving to the horizon, towards the city.
All right.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll follow you. Sorry, I was doing something.
Well, yeah, okay. I'll follow you.
So Zosa starts leading the group in a wide, circuitous route. I'm not exactly sure how far away we are from the city, but she tries to maintain current distance and is just navigating in a clockwise fashion around the settlement, if at all possible, looking for any alternative routes or anything of interest.
I will say, as you start to work your way around the city to, as you say, investigate and find another ways in, or scope the area out, you being the tactical and military trained type of person that you are, you walk for a little while as you're examining, and you look back to see where the rest of your party is and where you started at, and then how far you've gone, and then you look at the city as it's just sitting there, and you start kind of crunching numbers in your head, and you start thinking, this is going to take a really long time to do this, to encompass the city in a circular fashion. I would say by this point it is probably getting to be late afternoon.
Did you get my message, Jeff?
I did.
Do I notice anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
I would say that Zosa is not interested in entering the city at the moment. She's she's used to these long overland travels. She feels like the safer thing for the group would be to avoid the city.
All right. After a little while longer walking, you start to get a better view of the city. You'll notice that most of the city is toppled and almost completely covered in undergrowth. You'll notice that the streets now serve as like overgrown valleys between debris of crumbled buildings. It looks like what you could estimate from where you are. It looks like the largest of these valleys all lead to a central clearing where you see the top of a great pyramid.
Does the route to the pyramid appear to be wide open?
Wide open, no. It's just the largest valley that you can estimate from where your vantage point is the one that leads to it, to a central clearing where it's at.
Okay. How far away would you say it is to the pyramid?
Probably a little over a mile and a half.
Okay. Did Zosa go alone on this clockwise path, or was everybody following?
I have no
I
idea.
think we were all following.
Okay.
Yeah, I was following.
Yeah.
Yep, following.
So you guys notice Zosa is taking a careful approach, perhaps too careful. But other than that, she just seems to be doing her thing as far as putting the safety of the group foremost. Can one of you guys make an insight check? Whoever feels like they're interested.
Are you wearing shiny armor?
Yes. She has her brand new splint mail on. Verm, you are transfixed with the armor, and you're wondering, like, geez, how
I
much
can
money?
see myself in the
How
reflection.
much money did you spend? You see Toby. Toby's like picking his teeth. Torrent is watching Zosa's face. Notices that her eyes are staring past the pyramid, just kind of like into the waning sunset. It's almost like she takes a moment to pause and look. And at first, you think she's just surveying the terrain, getting a tactical layout of the region, but she sits there for too long, and you get the idea she's just like thinking deeply instead of doing anything practical.
I guess I'd say her name. Try to get her attention.
She snaps too. She says, "It is getting late. Perhaps we could camp here for tonight, and then in the morning, by the light of day, if you want to explore the area, we can make a furtive sortie."
I
Those
think that's a
places
good idea.
are dangerous at night. Less dangerous by the day.
Sounds fine to me.
What do you think of her?
Firm's been kind of just like shinies, and he's been like muttering things. It's just kind of, I don't sense anything.
Are you gonna be okay?
Are you a schizo now, Verm?
No, I use my awareness. And I was trying to see if there's something in the proximity, and I don't believe there to be anything.
At the first sign of agreement, Zosa immediately sets about getting a camp set up. She starts like putting some rocks together for a fire pit. And she starts grabbing like wood and branches and stuff.
Okay. Like outside the city or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's a competing opinion.
Nope.
So Zosa will watch first.
I'll watch
Band-Aid will
second.
take last.
Okay.
Borg would take first.
Torn will take third watch.
All
Torn or
right.
Bandy?
Let's see what happens.
That was a lot of dice.
The night goes by pretty uneventful. Everyone who is taking watch, roll me perception checks.
Okay. That's terrible.
All right. Band-Aid. Fitting that you rolled the highest and the fact that you are a very wise person. And also being from, foresty type areas. About halfway into your watch, you kind of notice that even though you all spent hours walking through, or what? Yeah, what? You spent hours walking through a forest, yet here you are on watch, on your turn. Other than the sound of your party sleeping, the occasional snore, and what you can only really detect as like wind kind of gently rustling the leaves and the branches and the trees of the forest, that's literally about all you hear the entire time you're on watch.
Okay, he'll keep note of that. What he wants to do is kind of compare it to the daytime sounds once the sun comes up.
Okay.
He also hears a ribbit.
Ribbit. But other than that, nothing substantial happens during your night of rest.
As the sun comes up, I will rouse everyone from sleep, just shaking them gently and tell them, yeah, the daylight has come.
You notice the Zosa is already awake.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, she appears to have gotten very little sleep tonight.
You do not appear to have slept last night. Much on your mind, is there?
It is this place. It troubles me. It is unsettling to be here, in this jungle, with these ruins. I feel like I am dreaming.
Does it remind you of somewhere special?
She meets your eyes. Special is not the word. I used to come to places like this when I lived in Chult. This type of excavation. It was my job for the old mercenary company. I have been in a set of ruins like this before. and I am not looking forward to going back.
It has not been said that we must go there. We are looking for what is it, a statue?
Out of character, I don't recall the statue. Was that discussed on yesterday's
shrine.
session or last week?
Shrine, okay.
Okay. Going back in, Zosa nods to the pyramid.
It stands to reason that is probably where we are going to find it. The fates are guiding our hands and our feet,
Yes, so
but my heart is troubled.
we will not go to the ruins. So ease your mind with that.
Can you make a persuasion check?
Of course. Oh,
Zosa nods. She says, "Thank you, thank you."
yes, we all have ghosts in our past. Do not let this one trouble you now.
There is something else, Bandal.
What is that?
She just shakes her head. She says,
I will not avail myself of the false belief that we are immortal anymore. I know what happened to me in the mountain, and I know that you saved my life from slipping away.
Yes, immortal. No one is immortal, not even the gods.
I was a fool.
No, you were misled. Fool is someone that cannot learn. You have learned, have you not? So therefore you are no fool. He kind of looks back over his shoulder at the rest of the group as they're kind of getting up, and he says, I do know how you feel. Being dead and risen. And that's all he says. And he'll kind of get up and shake the leaves off of him or whatever that are in his fur, get them out. And he'll walk, he's going to walk kind of not real far away from the group, maybe 30, 40 yards into the jungle. And as the sun's rising, he's going to listen.
I mean, other than pretty much what you heard the night before and, you know, your party making noises and like the occasional bird or something in the distance, you don't really hear a whole lot.
So no like crickets, no
Nope.
locusts, no nothing. No real birds.
Nope.
After a few minutes of standing out there, he'll come back and he'll kneel down again beside Yosa again and say, maybe you have the right to be troubled. I have noticed there are no sounds of the forest here. I hear no birds. I hear no insects in the trees.
Zosa is sitting on the ground with her hands around her, with her arms around her knees. She kind of looks up, looks around. Now she's listening, and she realizes that this is a part of it. This is a part of what's been troubling her. It's like there is just a lack of life. You know, the sounds of life. And she looks at Bandal and says,
It was like this then, too.
and she starts to tremble slightly, just watching around, like hoping to see a bird or something to confirm her in the wrong direction, you know, like that she's wrong about this memory she's having.
Zosa, give me a history check with advantage.
That was supposed to be advantage. I'll just do it again real quick.
Oh,
exhaustion.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
because
right.
you gave
because
yourself
I
exhaustion.
gave myself exhaustion. That's
Yep.
perfectly
All right, fine.
All right, there it is.
Excuse me. Given what you just said about your past, as you're kind of standing up and trying to get a listen of the surrounding areas to see if you can make sense of what Band-Aid has just told you. You're listening, and while you're doing that, like, your vision is kind of directed towards the city, but you're not really paying much attention to what you're seeing. You're focusing more on what you're hearing. And after a few moments, you kind of switch the focus on your senses, and you start to look out, and you kind of start painting back and forth to the city. You've been on several expeditions, and this doesn't look like it was some type of excavation site. This literally looks like a city that was long destroyed a long time ago.
As Zosa says to Bandal,
The difference between then and now is that no civilized people have visited here in centuries, perhaps. Whatever dangers we face, if we go down there, we will be the first ones to ever have done so. They will be fresh and unwithered.
Do you speak of the city or the shrine or the pyramid?
I see them as one and the same. It seems we will have to go through the city to reach the center.
It seems as though you must face your fears then.
she just nods.
Fear can be overcome, my friend, even in death. The fear will fade. Do not let it consume you, or you will be of no use to yourself or this group. They are depending upon you.
And she meets your eyes again. And when you're saying that she'll be useless if she lets herself go, that really connects with her. You can just tell. She seems to steal herself.
You are very strong. And he doesn't touch you, but he puts his hand towards your chest. Here, your strength comes from within. Do not let the fears of your past guide you. Let your heart guide you.
And she unslings her crossbow. And she says, "Thank you."
He kind of, he's 7'7", so he's kind of towering over. He kind of pops you on the back of the shoulder. That is the Yosa. We all know.
You are a wise leader, Bandar Dayton.
Yes.
I will follow you anywhere.
Well, today you lead.
She can't help but show a slight amount of fear when you say that. She's not in a good way. But she nods. She says,
Okay. Okay.
Let us get a small morsel of food before we head out and tell the others what we plan.
Okay. Zosa makes her way over to the fire, if there is one, or the rest of the group rather.
Yeah, there was still a fire. Band-Aid made sure it was lit.
And burning.
Yeah.
Verm is climbing a tree right now.
Successfully?
Why?
I had to take the high ground.
Can you just make an athletics check?
Shit.
Sure.
Verm goes crashing into the fire.
Why not?
You see, Yosa,
Pretty good.
Also,
I can climb trees.
the only thing you have to fear is that one there.
It's Toby himself.
all right.
So we'll all take a little bit to eat. And
Excuse me. Okay. All right. You take your time, kind of, preparing yourself for a day of, joyful adventuring. And you notice that Verm, for whatever reason, has climbed a tree. By this point now, after all of your time together, you just kind of notice it and you're like, don't really
What
pay
do you
much
see?
attention.
What do you see with your goblin eyes?
I look out. What do I see?
The same thing everybody else has seen.
Land.
And hose.
What? Hose? Where?
Sosa, behind you!
Damn it, Toff.
He climbs down from the tree by falling.
So you turn around and you see a bunch of you see a bunch of humanoid creatures making your way towards you. Can't really quite make out what they're saying, but apparently they want to speak to the manager.
It is a bunch of Karens. Ready defenses. We will slaughter them all.
I got the high ground.
Anyway. All right, so so what's the party doing?
after we eat, I'd say we put out the fire. Make sure it's not going to burn down the forest around us. And
Good call.
Only
But,
you can prevent forest fires.
I just did. And so I'll nod at Zosa, kind of wink, and say, "You lead us now."
Zosa just breathes heavily for a second, just a deep inhale. She sighs.
Follow me.
She starts marching forward towards the structures. She's exhibiting kind of a terrain knowledge. It's not like she's blending into the forest or anything, but she seems to be better at maneuvering through this particular type of forested terrain, just because it's like has the qualities of a jungle. So the way you put your foot down is a little different in a damp place like this than in a dry forest. And he's just kind of slinking along, crossbow up.
Okay, you are making your way through this obviously ruined, long forgotten city of some type of Zosa, give me Damn. I wonder what this. Damn it. Give me a okay. Give me a history check with advantage because you're from Chult.
Her mind
So
is
close.
elsewhere.
Yeah. Never mind. Okay. Very well. You continued making your way through the city. Air quotes. The ruined areas of the city. And you find that large valley pathway that you had noticed when you were perched up like on the hill. And you start you kind of you look at it and you kind of start thinking to yourself, you're trying to remember the layout that you saw when you were before you entered the city, and you're pretty certain that this is the right one. You kind of signal for the rest of the party to follow on, and as you start, you get a couple hundred feet, I guess, into this valley area. That's when you can start to actually see this, like in detail anyway, like this huge pyramid up in the way. Go ahead and give me another history check with advantage.
Oops. Well, with advantage. I'll do it again, I guess.
Well, we can just take that 17. That's fine. With the 17, what little bit you can make of the architecture, even though the city is like almost 90% rubble and ruin, what little bit you can actually make out, and the fact that there's a fancy pyramid off in the distance, and you start looking around, and you start putting pieces together. It's like almost in your mind, you're like that conspiracy theorist guy that's got red lines going everywhere, and they all start connecting. This looks like at one point in time this was a city of the people of Mazdaca. And this might be one of the rumored lost cities within the jungles of Chult.
By the gods, I am back home. How can this be? It doesn't make any sense.
She turns around. She says, she's not trying to be quiet or anything. She just says,
Whatever we do here, we have to make sure we get out by sunset. No matter what. We must move quickly, with purpose. I beg of you. Now come on.
she turns back and continues moving. She's kind of quickening her pace a little bit.
What happens if we don't make it out by sunset?
I'll imagine that Zosa didn't hear you say that.
What Verm said. He brings up a good point.
Do we need not to eat? Do we also need not to take a bath?
She's kind of moving on.
Yeah.
Shit.
Guess we have a time limit. here.
Well, we're not good on those.
Not always, no.
Let's make our way.
Let's get her going.
Verm starts full sprinting.
If you do that, you'll
No,
quickly
it's
run
just-
past Zosa.
No,
She's not moving that fast.
Okay. All right, you start you continue making your way. I will say it's probably been at least a good 2-3 hours since you all awoke to get to the point where you are now. Even though as large as this pyramid looks in your view right now, it still looks like it is quite a distance away.
Does it seem, well, you said it was like a mile away or so. Maybe like a mile or two?
Where you were when you were looking into the city. That's what you could guess from where you were at. You were also up on a hill.
Okay. If we continue traveling through the ruins for a while, maybe like an hour or so, how much closer would we get?
Well, you will also know that with all of the undergrowth and the overgrowth and everything, like basically the jungles have started, for the what you can tell is who untold number of years and centuries maybe has started to claim this city. Traversing through these valleys isn't just as as quick and simple as just walking on a street. So the terrain kind of slows you down a little bit. It's not necessarily difficult terrain yet, just
So
more
it's not
inconvenient and annoying.
It's not like using a machete and just hacking through every foot, right?
Right. It's not like impeding your path going forward. It's just like, instead of it the like where you're standing being dirt and rock and cobblestones and things like that nature, it's vines and overgrowth and undergrowth and everything. Like the jungle is starting to expand in eventually over to this area, which doesn't surprise you being from Cholt. The jungles of Cholt are legendary for being known for that.
Yeah.
So do we need to be out of the city or the pyramid if there's an entrance by sunset?
Zosa just says,
I just don't think it would be a good idea to be here in the dark. If we have truly been transported to Chelt, if this is truly one of the lost cities of legend, we can only make day trips. Terrible things happen in the darkness. Can you not feel the chill?
I'm always cold.
Home.
what is the climate, by the way?
Not necessarily hot, not cold, kind of humid. You are kind of in the middle of a jungle. I mean, you're not in the jungle, but you're surrounded by jungle, I guess you should say.
Close enough.
Yeah.
If we do have to camp here, then we should find a place that is easily defensible. Perhaps one of these old buildings, perhaps. I don't like the idea. If we can get out of the city, it is better.
Well, without the rate of travel we're going to the city to get to the pyramid, if we have to make continuous trips back and forth, we're going to spend more time outside than we will in.
This is true.
And she just presses on.
Okay. You continue further. It seems like now that you've kind of gotten into a rhythm of how to walk through all of this undergrowth and these vines and everything, you kind of relate to your party, and you all kind of pick up speed. I mean, not necessarily to the point of just normal traveling speed, but a lot faster than what you were going. And it doesn't take nearly as long as you expected, and you see what appears to be, I guess, the surrounding area around this pyramid is visible now, maybe 10-20 minutes away.
Okay. What time of day is it now?
I'd say noon, 12:30 maybe, in real world time.
What do you guys want to do?
I say we try and search around the pyramid.
Yeah, I was gonna
Try
say
to
the
find an
pyramid looked
entrance,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I think Zosa might also be looking for backup options for places where we can perform a long rest, or even
Right.
even a short rest.
As you start to get closer and closer, like you're almost to the I guess you would call like the arrival area for this pyramid. You do see what appears to be evidence of people have seemingly made camp here at one point in time, but what little bit of like the tents and things that you remains of them that you see look like they're very, very old and have easily gone well past the decrepit point. And but then you start looking around and you notice more piles of like tent type rubble or so on and so forth. Like at one point in time, this was a common area for, I guess, adventurers and scholars and fortune seekers to camp out before going into the pyramid.
I'm gonna do another awareness.
What kind of awareness?
Doesn't it, from what I've read, it says it just tells me which type,
Yeah,
but it just
yeah,
doesn't tell
pick
me
one.
where they are, and it doesn't tell me how many there are.
You just get like a mental note of
If-
if there's
yeah.
a certain type of creature present.
It says, in word for word, you can sense whether the following types of creature are present within 1 mile of you. You don't know where they are or how many there are.
And what are the creatures?
Aberration, celestial, dragon, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead.
You get all of them, or you have to pick one?
It doesn't say it to pick one.
Wow.
It's just kind of one of those things of, you know that one of those is within 1 mile of you. You just don't know where or
Yeah. It would make more sense if you had to pick one if you know exactly how many there are in the location, but it doesn't tell you either of the or.
Yeah, your sense is going off. You're aware, primevally.
Okay. And that lasts for a minute, so.
Zosa's picking through some of the refuse from campsites. This is all too familiar to her, actually.
You
No
don't.
footprints, I take it, huh?
Nah, none that you
Nothing
can
fresh.
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing that's fresh at all. Zosa, you start looking through. I mean, it doesn't look like, from what you can tell, that these tents were like damaged by weapon or in some kind of battle in any way. It just looks like they were left there after they were put up, which you also know is not uncommon, with sites of excavation and things, because you come back and the tents and things of that nature were fairly cheap to replace and replenish. So it was, a lot of times people considered it more expensive to them to take the time to take everything down and repack it than it was to just buy another one.
How large is the pyramid?
Pretty freaking large. Pretty big. Pretty big.
Okay. So, like, it would take some serious time to try to walk around to another side of the pyramid?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any, I don't know, hieroglyphics or sigils or symbols or anything?
None that you could, oh, excuse me. None that you can see down here where you're at. In the, it's like, because I don't have a map. That's the thing. This is why we're all still kind of theater of the mind at the moment. It doesn't have a map. So, well, I take that back. It has a map, but not for you all.
Is this the kind of pyramid that's got smooth sides, or is it kind of that has the stair step
I believe it's
all the way to the top?
stairs. Let me double check here.
Dubstep.
Let me see if I can do this without messing it up. It kind of looks like that. You all are in the not blacked out area. Which, not to scale, like you're still pretty decent amount of ways away from the first step going up the pyramid.
So it is a stair step type.
Yeah. It's not like Egyptian style pyramid. It's more like
Inca, Maya.
like the whole design on this was like from Mesopotamian studies and Mayan and Aztec and Toltec mythology and society. So,
Right.
yeah. It's like you Band-Aid, you can tell you're probably at least a good couple 100 feet or more away from the first step of this pyramid. However, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. Your pass is high enough, and you're a nature-y person as well. You do notice that there was a point when you got, like, I guess, into the landing area or arrival area of this pyramid, that the vegetation and the vines and the undergrowth, like, quickly started to dissipate, and now there's nothing but loose rubble and like broken cobblestones and and things of that nature. Like, is basically what you see for the ground now.
Does anything in this area appear to be giving off magic, as my racial trait can detect?
Do you cast detect magic?
No, I have racial trait that I can detect magic.
Yeah. If you read the racial trait, like, you can cast detect magic. It's just
Once per short or long rest.
Yeah. It's not at will.
I thought it was a racial trait, and I could tell it or I could see it.
Are my senses going off, or do I not detect anything?
No, your awareness got you a ping, but that's about all you got.
Oh, it got me a ping? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I would tell the party that.
Hey, just for clarification's sake for Bandal, you do have to cast it. As per your racial trait, it lets you cast a spell, and that would use your concentration. So just be mindful of that. And then it recharges on a short rest or a long rest.
But you can also cast it, be like, okay, cool, and then just drop it. You don't have to keep it up for the full 10 minutes or however long it is.
So should we, since there's not a noticeable entrance on the front, try and split up 3 and 3 and go around the edge? That way we're not fully split and don't have to walk clear around it.
Yeah, no, you all can see stairs that lead up. It's just
Stairs lead up.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're still several hundred or more feet away from the first step.
Zosa would immediately shoot down your idea to split up.
I'm gonna have to agree with Zoso.
Yeah, and that was a stupid idea.
Zosa agrees with Berm. She fist bumps Berm.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I did
Perhaps-
detect magic then.
Say again?
I did detect magic.
Okay. Your detect magic is detecting residual magic. Like, it's kind of one of those things where how would I explain this? Like, this is just going to be like a tabletop type of explanation. Like, if you're standing somewhere and the square right next to you gets hit with a fireball, you don't take any damage, but your square got warm. That's kind of the same thing that you're getting right now. It's residual. As far as you can tell, there's obviously something magic in the area, but like, you can't quite pinpoint it or put your finger on it. But you definitely, your detect magic radar is pinging like the entire time around the circle. Like, there's like no one certain thing. You're getting residual magic detected everywhere that you look, everywhere that you turn, everywhere you can sense. So there's a lot of magic at work here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He will present that to the party that there is an aura of magic all around this area. It is faint and more than likely an old magic, but yet it still emanates from this area.
Tis an aura of doom.
almost forgot about that. It's been a while.
The kobold walks out of the temple.
It's Meepo.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm back.
Didn't I kill that guy?
Hopefully, what we are looking for is at the top of the pyramid.
Oh.
Shall we begin our climb then?
Zilsa starts making her way to the stairs.
Right.
Little one, you and the frog on my shoulders.
What? Okay.
Okay. As
Mounted
you head,
combat.
right, oh god, as you head toward the pyramid, you tread over cracked and overgrown flagstones, stepping over debris, and when you're nearly at the temple, suddenly you hear the sound of some kind of creatures crashing through the underbrush, and Vineworks comes from behind you. You turn around to see strange looking people that appear to be some type of humanoid moving through the woods towards the clearing around the pyramid. And like you can almost feel it like in your feet. It's almost like a stampede of sorts. And then suddenly the earth shudders and gapes open beneath your feet, and you're falling amid the roar of collapsing masonry. Dust fills the air, and the sunlight disappears as the darkness swallows you as you fall.
The end.
Oh, you're not dead.
No.
Yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
I have been falling for 30 minutes.
It's for 30 minutes.
You're right.
Well, shit.
Well, shit.
Well, balls.
I mean, to be fair, Bandit's gonna break my fall because I'm on his shoulders.
True.
You guys are going 0G right now.
Yeah.
Just like floating above his shoulders. Toby's hovering like an inch above your head as you fall.
Toby's flying.
You guys ever play
gliding
Portal 2?
down. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a scene
Are we
in
stuck
Portal
in a
2 where
loop?
you're falling. Well, that too, but there's a specific scene in Portal 2 where I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just this thing that's falling with you is just kind of like spinning around you as you're falling for like 30 minutes, you know, as the joke goes. It's just talking
for
to you the whole
Portal
time.
2 that's been out for like 10 years.
Right.
Well, you never know.
I guess, yeah.
It's a good game. I don't want to spoil it.
So are we just falling?
Hold on, I'm trying to get the map to work.
It's just
We're, I guess we're not rolling dexterity saving throws. That's okay.
this is what we like to call plot armor, where there's no saving throw, it's just fall.
It's more like a plot sword. This is being done to us, and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right.
And as you're falling, you all see a tiny red bead drop in amongst
Falling down with you.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
all of a sudden, it explodes. Damn you, City Watch!
you.
That bomber ruined that good parade.
No spoilers.
Yeah, that's well. They won't. No, there's no context. They'll have to watch to figure it out.
I think they're actually past it. I think they're past it.
Oh,
I think they're pretty far.
They should be going up against the Oh, never mind.
The Lamia?
yeah.
I didn't say it.
We don't speak
Yeah,
about
he,
them.
yeah, he's,
didn't
yeah,
say
he
it.
didn't say it.
Did you hear me say it?
No. We
Kind
were
of
all...
goes without saying, though.
I heard the
Did you-
whole-
Osric was the leader of the Lamia.
That's
Any
not-
spoilers given out during the game for another campaign on the channel will result in excruciating pain for your character.
Well, that's why we're
terrible.
falling right now.
Right. You fall. Sorry, it took forever. Fantasy Grounds wasn't wanting to cooperate with the map and the mask, but fall and you finally land, and you're just surrounded by rubble and dust. You notice that like there's I mean, you look up from where you fell, and even the light, like the natural daylight, looks very faint, like it's almost not even there as you look up. Excuse me. And you look around and you notice that you all kind of like gather your senses. There's a dust kind of fills up the entire area where you were at. It doesn't seem like you all are in a very fun place right now. It's about the best way I can describe it.
Oh, sorry. Well, at least we don't have to worry about engaging those creatures that were intent on killing us, eh?
And
I
Zosa
guess.
scrambles to her feet. She looks up. She sees how far away we are from the surface. And she just... Oh, God, no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And she kind of turns around, she looks, moves back against the wall. She's looking to the north or to the south. Like, are we in some kind of hallway?
It's pretty dark. Even those of you with dark vision, it's not magical darkness, so don't freak out. But it is still very hard to make out anything. Everything kind of has like what little bit you can see has like a tinge of gray to it.
I cast light on Torrent's spear.
I take out the whistle.
Very well.
Many thank yous.
As you cast this light on Torrent's spear, the area begins to illuminate. You are kind of like waiting and kind of fanning out in front of your face for all the dust to kind of clear out, so you can see, so that your eyes will quit kind of burning and you quit coughing, and you notice that there is like amongst the dust that just kind of seems to be floating ever so lightly and kind of waving around with any type of motion or any type of airflow with it. It seems to be some type of very faint mist, almost, that it's not really mist. It almost looks like dust, but not dust. It's very hard to explain. Of it, that is kind of an amber color, and it kindly lightly obscures the area, not enough to cause, like table talk wise, not enough to cause any detriments in combat or anything like that, but and as it's a few minutes pass, and it seems like for the most part the majority of the dust kind of settles, but you still see this amberish hue about this area. You're still coughing, your eyes still burning, and you can tell that something is irritating. Anybody who is proficient in nature can make me a nature check.
Punch up to the gun, everybody.
Is anybody proficient with nature?
No.
Well, there you have it.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's strange. I figured at least somebody would. Cool. Never mind.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh
Well.
yeah.
Well, barbarians can be proficient in nature as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't go that way.
Well. Then I guess, everybody just roll me a nature check and we'll see what happens.
Hey, there we go.
Verm, somehow your goofy little goblin brain,
Toby's whispering in his ear.
that's probably what it is.
Yep.
Toby whispers.
Ribbit.
Rabbit. Little Toby whispers tell you that it's not dust that is in this area. It is some type of amber gas. And it is toxic.
Tear gas. Amber
Well,
gas everywhere.
Is that poison?
Toxic.
Poisonous gas.
Okay. Well, dang. If it
I
were a
start taking
mist,
the high ground.
Torrent could do something, but
Right. And that is where we will take a quick 5-minute bio and refill drink break. And then we'll get this this temple run here started off properly. So
Dying.
that too. It's always fun. But that being said, everybody, can't tell if somebody was knocking on my door or not.
That was me.
We'll be right back here in just a few minutes. Hope you come back. Hope you stick around. Enjoy.
The shenanigans will commence.
Always shenanigans. Hello, everybody. We're finally back. Where was I? Oh,
Gas room.
guest room. It burns. It stings.
My beef.
My beef. My lung beef.
My lug beef.
Excuse me. You all will also notice that I uncovered the compass on this map because I don't know why, but you'll if you scroll down, you'll see the orientation of it. So when I say
Why?
something is east to west, it's up and down, not left and right.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I didn't make it. So
Can you rotate the compass real quick?
yeah, right. Just beep, beep. All right.
Just scribble over it.
Yeah, we didn't really need to see the compass.
Yeah. You find yourselves in a long, narrow chamber running east to west. Hence why I uncovered the compass. In the center of this room is a domed shape on the floor. In the east wall is a blank-faced stone door. And the west end of the room is blocked by fallen stone and rubble, apparently the result of the collapse that brought you here. The two side walls appear to have several niches cut into them. The shape in the center of the chamber appears to be a small alcove, protected by a half dome with the open end facing towards the door in the east wall. This alcove is set in a recessed, shallow tiled wall, 1 foot deep and 10 feet wide. The alcove itself is 4 feet high. The recess contains some sort of display. I'll go ahead and uncover that. That's good.
We must get out of this dust quickly.
I run to the compass.
Yeah. I don't think that's how that's going to work. All right.
Is the whole room filled?
You can tell like pretty much that amber mist or whatever you want to call it, the gas is prevalent and seems to be everywhere in this room. Where was that? All right. Wow, they couldn't have broke this up into a shorter thing. The display that you see appears to be a diorama depicting a hunting party of what was it that I said? Ms. something or another?
Mastika.
Mastika warriors.
That is where Lionel is from.
Yeah. In feathers
It
and
is
deer-hide garments.
Probably a statue of Lionel
Oh no.
there.
At the bottom is an
I like
engraving
it.
that says, "Today is a good day to die."
Lionel straight arrow. Yes.
In a mountainside scene, some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog, another group is cleaning a small mule deer, and the others have cornered a panther with their spears. A scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook. The 3 niches on both the northern and southern walls are 5 feet wide and about 3 foot off the floor. Each one contains a diorama depicting some aspect of tribal life. The 6-inch tall figures in all of the displays appear to be made of stucco, realistically and brightly painted. Excuse me. The scenes portrayed represent fishing, farming, religion, warfare, the creation story, and crafting. The cave-in that completely blocks the west end of the chamber. At short intervals, small amounts of rubble and dirt come spilling into the room. Several large stones appear to have wedged themselves tightly, closing off the collapse.
I run to the door.
You run to the door.
Yes.
I open door if it's unlocked.
The door appears to be locked.
I try to break the door open. Or actually, no, Torrent, don't you have these tools or no?
Does it even have a handle or anything?
None that you can. Hold on, let me double check. No, you don't see any handles.
I just try to break it open.
What's it made out of?
Hopefully wood.
Let me double check. It's a blank face stone door.
Shit.
Good luck, Firm. Maybe let Borg take a swing.
6,000 great axe.
Borg's gonna try to just push it open, force it open.
You can certainly try.
Is there any indication as to what way it opens? It's a stone door. I'm assuming if it opens in towards the room, there's going to be scrape marks on the ground, or.
You know what? It actually does not freaking say. Hold on, let me see here. Okay, on the okay, apparently it looks like it would words are hard. It appears to open inward.
Okay.
I'll say everybody's there trying to figure out how to get out of here. Everybody give me a perception check.
Pretty good.
Figures.
All right, Verm and Band-Aid. You notice along this blank face stone door there is a keyhole hidden on the door. And you will also notice that on the right side of the door there are 2 hinge pins.
But there is a keyhole.
You do see a keyhole.
Check
Hinge
the
pins.
niches. Check the niches.
Do you mean what do you mean by hinge pins? Are they like
Raid.
like the hinge pin on a normal door.
Oh,
Can
okay.
I
Lord
step up
Gasumba,
and
thank you for the raid. Holy moly, how's your string going tonight, Jay? And welcome, raiders. The group had just started. Jay, you might recognize this adventure. I believe it was called the Hidden Shrine of Tomoa-chan. It might be familiar to you and your crew. Sorry, go ahead, Torrent.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I use my thieves' tools to open the door?
You can certainly try.
Okay. Let me just make sure I have them. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did buy a set.
I'm gonna slap Torn on the back of the head.
Okay. Why?
I asked you 5 minutes ago if
Yep.
you could use your thieves tools.
I deliberately ignored you because I wanted to see what Borg was gonna do. I was hoping he was just going to smash it down. But okay.
Well, if y'all let me, I would have gotten
Like
around
it
to-
cut, G.
Hurry.
I rolled bad.
I give him my inspiration.
Okay, I'll re-roll.
Please get me the hell out of this room.
Yes.
That's a lot better.
That is a lot better. You start to try to use your thieves' tools, but apparently this lock is of very old craft, and it doesn't seem like your thieves' tools have the right kind of tumbler scrapes in them to unlock this door.
Band-Aid is
Okay.
going to start checking the niches for a key.
Yeah, I'll check this thing in the middle of the room. What is it?
I'll be hoping Band-Aid.
The whatchamacallit, hold on.
The
Kinda
large
looks like a
structure
sundial.
to the west, formerly known as the south.
Right. I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, hold on. Damn it. There's something I'm looking for here. Damn it. Okay, somebody asked in chat something. Okay. You notice that it is a diorama of sorts. The display in the center appears to be a diorama depicting a hunting party in feathers and deerhide garments on a mountainside scene. Some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog. Another group is cleaning a small mule deer, and others have cornered a panther with their spears. A scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook. I'll go ahead and click this to put it in chat so I don't have to read.
Oh,
And again, yeah, that's the same thing you already read once.
does anything here look like it might be a key that fits the lock? Like the staff, or maybe one of the hunter's
shepherd's
weapons or
crook.
something. Yeah, I was thinking that because it's pretty obvious. But
I mean, just looking at everything, it's hard to make a guess. Anything is possible by
right.
just looking.
well, I'll reach out and touch the shepherd's hook then. Or sorry, crook. My mistake.
You touch the metal staff, and unlike everything else, this appears to be made of actual metal, and you can easily remove it from the figure.
Yes, I remove it. What does it look like?
It appears to be a small metal staff with a loop in its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook.
It looks like a
Alright.
fucking key. Use it.
Stick it in the hole.
Ask
Guys,
him
I
Stick it in the
again.
hole.
Can't metagame
Whoa,
like
pause.
that. I put it in the log.
Yeah. You put it in the lock, and you wiggle it around. You attempt to turn it. It doesn't really have, like a normal key type shape. You kind of look at it, and your panicked mind scrambling. You are going through your thieves' tools in a hurry, and you're just gonna this might work, and you slide it on there, and you angle it and wedge some other instrument out of your tool set on there to be able to get it to turn just enough that you hear a click.
Hey, Torrent saves the day.
He
The
just sits there,
door-
starts praising himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after he asked 3 times what the crook looked like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
It's really a
door
metagame.
yeah, the door appears to have, as far as you can tell, seems to have unlocked. However, the door is not open.
Oh, well, I guess we need to push on it.
It opens in.
Oh, in. Well,
Yeah. The
Anybody
door
know-
hinge holes, right? They're holes, technically.
They're like door hinges, like kind of
But
fastened
can we
into
fit
stone.
like a rope on them or anything to like pull, or is there anything we can?
well, now that it's unlocked, somebody with prestidigitation could open the door.
Good thing none of us have it. And
Does
it's
nobody know
thaumaturgy.
that?
Not with prestidigitation.
Oh, sorry, not
Thaumaturgy.
dramaturgy. My mistake. I haven't played a magic character in forever. Give me a break, Alex.
Or use thaumaturgy.
Yeah, Borg, hit that door with it.
Is there a gap under the door?
That's a good question.
Or on the side.
Any gaps that you can see appear to be very, very minimal. Like this door, it was crafted to be as tight to the surrounding structure as possible.
Does anybody have any like climbing gear? Or
I
we
have
could
a.
have like a hook or like pythons we
Well,
could try to hammer in and run a rope through and pull or
I
something.
do, and I have a crowbar as well.
Crowbar
I
would
don't-
work, maybe.
The ultimate house break.
Sure, I'll,
He
I'll
just
try
breaks
to.
into
I'll try to.
houses.
Yeah, I'm. Shush! I had a rough past. Okay, so I checked.
Intruder.
I checked to see if the crowbar could fit under any or any of the gaps of the door, or if they're too tight.
Okay. You said you're using your crowbar, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you managed to barely just get just barely the very end of your angled crowbar in there, just enough to try to get just enough of a bite on it for the door to kind of like move like maybe a half of an inch before your crowbar slips.
Okay.
But it is obvious that the door
Can move.
has opened in, like, granted a half of an inch maybe, but
Okay.
Go again.
I don't know. I feel like we need something that can. Something thin. Thinner than my crowbar.
Did you say you also had pitons or pythons?
Yeah, I do. I don't. Is the door? What's the door made out of?
stone.
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 Sure.
I could
is
try
the
to hammer
keyhole?
one in.
I'll line up a python and give it a whack. Can I drive it in?
Yeah, you can.
I'll
All right.
pull my hemp rope out and run a loop through the python, tie a knot, and give
Okay.
it to Borg to pull open because he's the strongest out of all of us.
I'll lead Borg polling.
Line up.
Right.
I'll help as well.
All right. You do this. You in your still panicking state, we're like, oh, the crowbar didn't work, but the door can obviously move. You fumble through your belongings and you pull out some pitons and a hammer and you start driving it into this stone door as Yin offers up her rope and you quickly tie just a makeshift knot around it and everybody grabs a hold of it and starts pulling. The door for a split second just doesn't seem to budge, and then you just hear as you hear the sound of the stone door just scraping and dragging across the tile flooring, and the door opens.
Freedom!
Rush through the doorway.
Everybody get in! So the gas doesn't get in.
Untie my rope and head in.
So,
Be honest with me. We didn't do that how we were supposed to, did we?
I don't think we did anything how we were supposed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get out of that room. And that was one.
That makes me feel good.
All right. So you.
Does also just stay in the room?
Yosa just staying in there, huh?
She likes the smell.
Yes, that's great.
You're muted,
home.
Ben.
Yeah, you're muted, Ben.
Yep.
And Skype muted.
Oh, I've been muted the whole time.
That must
Yeah.
have been. That must have been so
Yeah.
frustrating. Shouting at us, thinking we were ignoring you.
I actually wasn't saying much. I was letting you guys do your thing. Zosa has been. The first thing she did was she wetted up with her handkerchief around her neck and put it over her face to try to block some of the noxious fumes. And she also dug around in her backpack and pulled out a couple potions of antitoxin. So she's got 3 of those. I don't know if you guys have any, but we could use that to get advantage on saving throws against poison for an hour. If we think it's going to be mechanically detrimental to breathe in these fumes, if we're going to be down here for a while. And then finally, Zosa will start gathering up some of the knickknacks on these things. She's going one by one and looking for anything that looks interesting, or perhaps it'll fetch a decent price topside. And she'll start dropping them gently into a sack that she has. Is there anything of interest in the middle? That little stand or whatever that is?
Oh boy, he's going to read it again.
No, is that all it says? Is that what the diorama is? It's in the middle?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
in the
never
chat.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I thought that was describing the things on the edges.
No, the things on the edges are here.
No, that's fine. That's
That
you don't. Okay. Yeah, she's just grabbing up some of the more interesting looking items. You know, anything that looks like it might be interesting to a historian or something. She's well trained to. She was well trained, anyways, to recognize the value in these types of things. So she just starts scooping them up, and she's kind of defaulting to her old programming. You know, she used to be basically a tomb raider of sorts, or like the defense contractor for professional tomb raiders. So.
Close the door.
Yes, close the door.
Is there a handle on this side?
There's a
Can you
huge.
pull it
This is a
closed?
huge stone door, right? We can't just close it unless we make this group effort again.
Drive another pipe in it and pull it.
I mean, there's a handle on this side, though, isn't there?
Are there any
that's
fumes
what I
in
was.
the?
That's what I was asking. If there was a
Yeah.
handle.
Are there any fumes in this hallway here?
Good Lord, one question at a time.
Sorry. Well, I was muted for so long. I'm just like I'm blurting it all out at once.
Well,
What time
because
of day is it?
Ben
you
was in
don't know.
timeout.
You're in timeout.
Oh, did Duff say that?
Yes.
He thought it.
He thought it. I just relayed it. To be honest with you, Torrent, it doesn't say, but I'm going to assume that there is.
Legit. I get in there. I want to pull this door closed, so I throw all my strength at it.
I'll help him.
All right, you close the door, and you go to take in a deep breath and let out a sigh of relief. But midway through your sigh, all of you start coughing again as you notice that ember gas wasn't just single to that specific room you were just in.
Well, shit. Run. Run.
Let's see. Okay, this room, however, the stone walls of this corridor are carved to resemble a stack of bamboo-like logs. The passage slopes down from a single door on its western leg, the lintel of which has been crafted to represent a stylized cavern entrance. It leads to a set of double doors of beaten bronze, worked to resemble a forest of seaweed.
Well, this place sucks.
Let's not stand here breathing in this all day, guys. We got to keep moving here.
What if I like the amber gas?
Well,
Stay here then.
you can stay here.
I'm just kidding. I don't like it. Let's go.
And halt.
Uh-oh. A red bead.
Snap.
Yin, as you are stepping here,
Well,
you're stepping
back
your
here.
foot underneath your foot. You feel the floor kind of like decrease a little as you hear a click, as if you stepped on a pressure plate. And all of a sudden, several of the logs that you see that appear to be carved into this wall swing out and from either wall and just boom.
Pummel me.
Well, not just you.
A lot
Oh.
of us.
1, 2, 3, 4 of you. You take. Okay, no, that 8 points of damage, and you are pushed 5 foot down the slope towards the double doors. So you are there, you are there, you are there, and you are there.
We all take eight damage.
Anybody that was right there in that hallway area right there. Like,
All right.
This place fucking sucks.
Tough but fair. Yeah, it really does. So far, nothing good has come out of coming in here.
Just keep moving. And be careful.
Any handles on these doors?
Zosa's voice echoes down the corridor.
Yeah.
it doesn't say.
I open them.
All right. So you open this door. Oh, I need to. Shit. Stupid map. There we go. Okay. I will do this.
And this.
And then.
No more and then. Just open the door.
and then. All right. So, guys, this
How do you
room,
want to die?
right? You open the doors, and immediately, this room is constructed of large stone blocks, buttressed in the corner. The walls are wet and slimy, and mud covers most of the floor in a thin coating. To the east and the west, may be seen stone doors recessed into the walls, and to the north, a set of stairs leads down. In the center of the chamber sits a large polished boulder amid a pile of smaller rounded rocks. The boulder is 5 feet tall and colored brown with dark streaks and spots. Leaning against it is what appears to be a bamboo staff. In the mud around the base of the boulder is a moving shape, looking like a crayfish. It is facing you and seems to be aware of your presence.
Mystical
Toby hungry.
crayfish. Where is the direction we need to go?
Is there gas? There's no gas in this room, right?
Until I say otherwise, every room has this gas in it.
Oh. Okay.
This is a
place
very
sucks.
gassy dungeon.
Yes.
Yeah. How big is the? How big is it? That's just waddling around.
It's a
Band-Aid,
crayfish.
It's just a crayfish. Yeah.
Did Band-Aid prepare indigestion or Pepto-Bismol?
At this point, Borg's gonna turn to Band-Aid and ask him if he's okay.
No, I cannot breathe.
Borg's gonna call for aid from Zosa.
Oh, I take it back.
So it's-
It is a giant crayfish, so it's large.
Never
must be in
mind.
the bayou.
I step back.
And Zosa steps over the logs and stuff that are laying on the ground. She comes up.
Is everything okay?
No.
Like, how bad are the noxious fumes? Are they killing us like right now? Are we taking any damage from them, or
Not
any
yet. It's
mechanical
like
defects? Or
you can tell that it is more of a like irritant type of gas, but so it's not like walking into a room that is laden thick with poison gas. If
so
you
it's
will.
not like walking into a CS gas chamber.
Right. And but it is irritating. You don't know what effects it's going to have on you the longer that you're in the area. You know what I'm saying?
And how long have we
Long-term
been here
exposure.
now?
I don't know, maybe 20 or so minutes.
Okay.
Really
Zosa
the
will-
only damage you've taken is from the log trap. So
Zosa will offer up a vial of antitoxin from her inventory, and it gives you advantage on a saving throw against poison for 1 hour. So perhaps that might be what this is, and maybe it happens after a certain amount of time. I'm not trying to metagame too much, but
No.
you know,
He knows what it is because he remembers you taking it. This will do me no good. It is an irritant to my throat. I'm sorry. And he kind of drops to one knee.
Ford's going to assist him back up to his feet and try to move to another room.
We should go as quickly as possible to get away from these fumes.
Yeah, dinner?
This is bad air. If it does not circulate, if it does not circulate, it
So,
just builds up
you-
these acids.
You said it was large, right?
Yes.
Okay. Does it seem like it's hungry?
So, well, is it poison based or is it acid based?
Poison.
I don't think we're able to determine.
I was about to say, if it's acid based, Torrent would know because he wouldn't care.
Well, that was just a flavor text thing. It was just me
Okay.
like describing.
I thought you knew somehow, and I was trying to glean information from that. I suppose. Yeah, Torrent's resistant to acid. I was hoping it was acid or
No, I don't know like what it is mechanically. I was just trying to flavor the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, that's
It's a
fine.
bamboo pipe.
I was just hoping it was acid.
Top,
Torrent's
bottom,
like-
or straight?
Drinks.
I think we should go around it and go down the stairs.
All right, you step into the room, and the crayfish, the giant crayfish that has been, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put the thing on here. Boop. Well, oh, I know why. I know why. I'm not even gonna worry about it yet. He's kind of was marching back and forth, east west, which is weird on this map. I know I didn't make it.
I was gonna say it's just so weird.
It's really
if you're
messing
east
me up.
west.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. Don't hate me for it. Suddenly the crayfish is aware of your presence, and gotcha, Loco. He turns and kind of goes into a defensive stance, and he addresses you in a older version of what could be considered a type of common in this area at one point in time. It takes you a second, but you can kind of pick up on what he's saying. It addresses you as, "Who is this? Who dares enter the chamber of the guardian? You had better go, or I will have to discharge my sacred duty. Be off with you before I lose my temper."
How
It's
do
a
we
talking
leave?
crayfish.
Maybe we just tell him that
We
Weird.
fell down here.
maybe we just tell him that we're dying and that we're only trying to leave.
We
Which
just
way is
want
the
the
exit?
way out.
The exit? What exit? I don't know. I was brought here when I was very young and placed here. This is the only area I know. I was charged to guard this chamber.
By whom?
How do you want us to leave if you don't even know the way to the exit?
There's a
a
door
good
there,
question.
there's a door there, and there's a set of stairs there. Pick one.
Oh well. Okay.
yeah, we mean you
were
no
gonna do
harm.
that
Well-
anyway.
Yeah, we'll bypass around you. You said stairs, right, Verm?
Yeah.
All right, we'll try the stairs first. If we come back in, we're not trying to like bamboozle you. We're just gonna try a different door if this doesn't work. Bye.
So the stairs go up or down?
Down.
There's a lot of crazy shit happening. The floor beneath us just kind of crumbled, and there's a talking large crayfish.
Maybe we're all just passed out on the jungle floor hallucinating.
Zosa will address the creature. She'll say,
Thank you for granting us passage. We will not disturb you. If we have to come back, then we will be as gentle as possible.
Very good. I didn't want to have to use these anyway. He starts. As you get to the area where you see a couple of stairs, the landing at the foot of a short flight of steps is filled with mud and silt that partially blocks the door leading north. The door is meant to open inward, for there are hinges on this side and a large grip to pull on.
Walpian.
Try to, I guess try to pull it. Shoot.
Yep.
Okay, you all kind of start to try to force this thing back, but at most you're able to force it open only a few inches, enough to see that it is blocked on the other side by a mass of silt.
Okay, new door.
New door, who this?
New door, who this?
Let's go. Yeah, down.
Yeah.
Yep.
She'll invite someone to check the door for traps.
Oh.
Why
Not
did you?
too good at that. I'm not too good at that.
I'll try it, I guess. I'll look for traps.
Oops.
You accidentally opened the door instead. I guess that's one way to do it, yeah?
I was saying maybe we could get the.
Any dead goblins around here?
Never mind.
Nope.
Jose after Ver.
Start chucking them through the doorways again.
Start opening this door again. I'll look for traps again.
Feel free to roll investigation.
Yeah, I'm really good at that.
You don't detect any traps.
I open door.
All right, you open door. Hold on. You open door. Let me update player map. Meow. There we go. And you open door.
How is Toby holding up?
He's kind of. He seems kind of aggravated that you didn't let him play in the mud.
Fair enough. This looks like a fucking trap.
Oh, nonsense.
What's the floor?
This room is wet and the walls are covered with a slimy white buildup. There is about 1.5 inches of water and mud blanketing the floor. Many overturned pedestals and pieces of broken statuary lie on the floor, partially buried in this mud. Opposite the entrance to this room is another door. Only one pedestal remains standing in the northwest corner, which on this map would be
Top left.
Yeah,
Bottom left.
bottom left.
Bottom left. Top bottom left.
Yeah, something like that.
Zosa's very tired.
Yeah. On it sits a small metallic 3-sided pyramid. Overhead in the shadow draped ceiling are inlaid colored tiles depicting a starry sky and forming strange patterns in the areas above the pedestals.
Could you say that one more time about the pyramid? Okay. Only one pedestal remains standing in the northwest corner. On it sits a small metallic 3-sided pyramid. Overhead is the shadow draped ceiling. Are inlaid colored tiles depicting a starry sky and forming strange patterns in the area above.
I step in. Does nothing happen?
Slip and slide.
Is the ceiling like a dome, like a planetarium?
Doesn't really say.
Okay.
Sure, we'll go with that. Planetarium ceiling.
I run to the door.
Okay, as you all enter, you'll notice that a dark, wet mass clings to the wall above the western door. Upon closer inspection, it appears to be green in color.
Man,
Well, it's not black pudding, so that's good.
does it have multiple legs?
No, the mass it appears to be a large colony of algae, and it resembles some type of green slime.
I open the door.
You open the door. As soon as you touch the door,
God damn it.
remember what I said. The walls and everything in this room are heavily coated with blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
With white.
That's why I
Why?
said. That's why I whispered again, saying it's Torrent's room. But
Yeah. You
I didn't
take
appreciate that.
you take 1 acid damage.
but that's halved.
Not for you, it ain't.
Yeah, I have the armor.
Do you have the
Massive
armor?
resistant armor. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you still take 1 damage.
That's fair.
Because you can't round down.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
You
I
take
take
1 acid
0.5
damage.
of damage.
You take half the damage, and I'll tell you when you take that extra 0.5. I'll wait until you're sleepy. But yeah, you open. Well, okay. I'll get to you in a sec. What is everybody else doing?
I wanted to look at the pyramid closer.
You notice that this small pyramid appears to be made of silver. It has a lot of carvings and things on it. It's
Does
hard
it appear to be
to.
reflecting like the symbols on the roof?
It seems to have the symbols that you see on the walls appear to be on this pyramid as well.
So if I like take my sword tip and try to rotate the pyramid, does anything change on the walls, or
Nope.
any like boulder drop down on me because I touched a sacred pyramid?
Nope.
All right, cool. Did it move when I tried to do that?
Yeah, it turned.
Okay. The symbols on this side of the pyramid the same as on the other side, or different?
It appears to be the same on all 3 sides. I can't give you a whole lot of information without you making a religion check.
Do I need to be proficient in it, or can I just make it?
It would probably be better if someone that is proficient in religion to make that check.
Okay.
Zosa can do that. She'll step in if you call her.
Yeah, I would call for Zosa or Band-Aid, knowing they're on the more religion side of.
Zosa starts examining this thing. Is it also coated in the same material, the acidic material?
The pyramid is not.
Zosa will handle it. She'll pick it up and examine it closely.
All right, give me a religion check.
She's not really able to make anything out.
Nope. Wow.
Perhaps Bandal can come and take a look. I am just too groggy. I could not get any sleep last night.
Do you mind if I take it out to him? He seems to be a little ways behind still with Borg.
She hands you the pyramid.
Would go find Band-Aid and
Borg is
ask me
going.
if-
Borg is
What?
Did we just lose him?
You're talking, Brian, but we don't hear you. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Optimus
muted
Prime
in
got
Skype
him.
either. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Alright. Borg is going to start yelling for Zosa.
Zosa comes stomping back through the muck up the stairs.
Yes,
You would see Yin kind of over band-aids. He's slumped in the corner. She'd move out of the way and ask for help.
Oh. Yeah, Zosa comes moving up. She'll perform a medicine check and see if she can determine exactly what's ailing him.
He can't breathe.
Okay. Zosa will administer. Well, what can I do? It's not like it's not like she's trained in CPR, or
You may need to be here shortly.
Yeah.
is anyone else like suffering this badly from the air?
I think we're all quite a bit younger.
Whoa.
Well,
Yeah, now.
yeah. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah.
I can use. Well, I mean, because he's not bleeding, so I mean, this is a respiratory condition. There's not much she can do outside of magical healing. Zosa
How many
will.
How many of us know about his scar on his neck?
Oh, now I guess everybody.
Well, you said it before. I don't know if you said it to
Well, I know.
us.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it out of
specifically.
character, but
Yeah, nobody knows it in character.
Okay.
Way to go.
Just wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
Zosa kind of like tells Bord to help lay him out straight, lay him out flat on his back. And let me see if she's thinking clearly enough with her medical knowledge. 10.
Ooh.
That's 10's not bad. 10 is pass on a decent skill check. Yes, Zosa will have him laid out flat, and she'll start like removing any of his any like clothing or armor around his chest and neck, just to make a clear airway. She's trying to do what she can to make sure his airway is clear.
As you take off his scarf, you do see like a, I don't know, 1.5 inch scar that goes from ear to ear on his neck.
She gasps.
The hair has not grown back there.
Oh no. Does he have any?
His eyes are rolled back in his head.
Zosa will use 5 points of lay on hands to administer 5 points of healing, magical healing. And normally that closes up things like bleeding wounds and the stabs and
Right.
cuts and punctures of war. As far as a respiratory condition, I have no idea how that would really translate.
That would be up to the DM, I guess.
I don't know. This isn't my doing, so.
If no one else, I mean, this
This is character stuff, so do you tell me?
Oh, I don't know.
So I see what you're trying to do. Like this is kind of moving off into a discussion about roleplay. I see what you're trying to do, but no one else here is getting the same mechanical defects from the bad air. I think that it's a
It's
choice
backstory stuff
for
is
you
what
to
it
make.
is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yeah.
So I think Zosa is just trying to like rub his chest and wake him up, like rubbing the sternum or something analogous to the sternum, just to try to get a response from him to make sure he's awake. And she's like, come back, wake up.
He starts coughing. Thank you. I must get out of here. I must.
Yes. We will get out of here. We it's like you told me earlier. We all need each other.
Yin would take off her cloak and like give it as kind of like a shawl to Band-Aid, start wrapping it around his head, give him a little eye slit just for more cover around his face, hopefully to block out more of the fumes.
Yeah, Zosa will dampen the area that's around his mouth and tells him, like,
You can press this to your face. So it makes a filter of sorts. It is no guarantee. And I recommend that you drink this.
And she'll once again offer the antitoxin.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you.
And Zosa will also drink one. And so for 1 hour,
Too far away to do that though. Otherwise, I would.
for 1 hour, Zosa and Bandal will have an advantage on any saving throws against poison.
Cool.
Can you stand?
I will try.
Borg will assist him in getting up.
He looks at you. Thank you.
Do you think you can take a look at this?
And she gestures towards Yenia, who may or may not still have the pyramid in your hands.
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Please let me see it. Yes. Is that what you needed, DM?
Yeah, that'll work for me. Well done.
I don't know what it means, but
Okay. Let me pull it up because I closed it. You will notice that this pyramid represents the god of the moon and lightning. Po-ka-te-kel. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. And a lot of the other fallen statuaries in that room depicted other Maztecan gods. These include what appears to be represented by a coyote, a crab-headed figure, an alligator-headed god, a feathered warrior, and a jaguar.
are those represented on the?
On the walls,
Okay, but not on the
not on the pyramid.
pyramid. Are there any markings at all on the pyramid?
The markings of the Apaka Nyquil god, the god of the moon and lightning.
All right, I'll tell them to put that facet of the pyramid into the lock and turn it.
I'll take it back down the Verm and relay, or give it to him to try and use it with the door.
Zosa stays with Bandal.
Was the door locked?
Yeah, the door wasn't locked. I just cut from Verm back to everybody else because at that time only 2 people were in the room, or 3
I was
people.
gonna say I've been slow motion opening this door for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
Just
Yep. But I will say, is everybody heading into this room or to that door, or is the party staying split?
Eventually.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. All right. The walls and ceiling of this hallway are also coated with slime, and the floor of the passage is covered with a layer of mud. Through this muck, a steady stream of water trickles northward. The stucco on the walls is flaking off, and there are glowing silver tracks in the slime crisscrossing the walls and the ceiling. Along the east wall of the passage stands a 12-foot tall stone statue of a man outfitted in fine clothing and holding a stone tray in his raised arms. Its eyes appear to be black gemstones. The right one droops out of its socket slightly, balancing on the statue's cheek. From behind the left shoulder protrudes the hilt of a weapon, most likely a sword. The stone tray, as well as the forehead and the nose of the statue, are chipped and scratched.
Is it a black sword?
No.
Oh.
Couldn't be that easy.
No.
Well, we still have to find a way out, even if we did just find the sword.
Yeah.
So. Would be nice to know that the treasure is secured, though.
Guess I would check out the statue just to see what it is.
That's what
This is-
it looks like.
Does the sword look like it's? It doesn't look like it's made out of stone, right?
I would say it's probably not usable, even if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Can you drop that description in the chat?
Which one?
The one for the stone statue.
All right. As you all enter into this room, you all take 3 points of poison damage as you
Poison.
continue to cough and hack, and your eyes and throat continue to burn from this poison that seems to permeate throughout this entire area as far as you can tell for the time being.
I open
So-
up this door.
There wasn't a saving throw for that. Well, it is what it is.
All right, you check that door.
Yep. Check for traps. I'll make an investigation check, but
Actually, hold on.
9.
No, I take that back. The sword is not. It is part of the statue, but it is not part of the statue.
It's not like made out of stone connected
No,
to
it's
it,
not.
right?
Yeah, exactly. I take. I was wrong. I bet.
Is it shiny?
It's got shiny to it.
I'm inclined to take it out.
Is there anything on the tray that the statue's holding? The description doesn't say anything about what's on the tray.
Nope. Doesn't say anything's on the tray. The tray
Can I look?
is devoid.
Can I look for anything around the sword, like a mechanic or anything? A trap, one would say.
You don't see anything.
I take the sword out.
You go to look at it, and the fact that this statue stands 12 feet tall, you're gonna have to climb the statue to get to the sword.
Yeah. I climb the statue.
Okay. How much do you weigh, Verm?
With gear or without?
With.
Because with
200 pounds. It's all gold.
oh shit, 164 pounds.
Awesome. I need you to give me a strength check as you are standing on the tray and it starts to tip and topple as you're on it. All right. You catch yourself as the tray tips forward. And you get up, you kind of scramble up all goblin-y style. Like, this is no surprise for anybody else witnessing this. You get up and you go to look and you notice that the eyes on this statue appear to be a dark gemstone. And they are shiny.
But I'm inclined to take them. But
Well, one is kind of already fallen out of socket.
do I have the sword out at least?
You grab a hold of the sword. It's appears to be a sword that is in fine condition. However, it doesn't appear to be like a normal sword, like what the rest of you are currently equipped with. This one appears to be made out of some type of sealed wood, inset with black jagged teeth.
And there's black gemstones.
Mhm.
I take the gemstones.
Awesome.
Yeah, I figured something was about to happen.
You grab the first one that was standing out, and you look at it and you realize it's a piece of polished obsidian is what your guess is. And you're like, oh, nice. And you put that in your pouch and you start getting all excited. You can feel Toby getting all excited on top of your head. You go to grab the second one.
Doom, doom, doom.
Doom, doom, doom.
And Verm, I need you to make me a very important charisma saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Not bad.
Doom, doom, doom.
Probably still gone. But
Everyone, you see Verm and Toby disappear.
hi guys.
I'm kidding. The statue's not trapped. You get 2 obsidian gemstones.
I was about to get quetzaled.
You were.
I was about to get fucking quetzaled.
You were. However, you also notice behind the toppled statue is a narrow passage about 4 foot above the floor, directly behind the statue.
That could be good.
Or could be very bad.
One of the two.
Go check it out.
Yep.
Verb.
Yeah. I go up in the tunnel.
One for all.
Wait.
Yeah.
Zosa will reach a hand through, and she will cast a spell on you. She'll give you Shield of Faith.
A fake shield?
For 10 minutes, you'll have an extra +2 on your AC.
I heal myself. Get some healing.
All right.
I go run down.
Water bees collect upon the walls of this narrow passage, and the flooring is very cold and damp. A low ceiling, only 5 feet tall at most, further cramps this dank place.
Has it got fresh air?
Nope.
Yikes.
Does it continue down?
Does what continue?
This tunnel?
Yes. It does. That way.
I'm going to be silent about walking around up here.
You can certainly try.
Think I should go in there yet?
As you get about
I'm
there,
sure we'll hear
Vern, give
yelling.
me a Constitution saving throw.
Will
What was
do.
that?
I'm sure we'll hear yelling if something goes amiss.
Okay.
You're trying to be very sneaky. And you're also fighting the urge to cough because of this irritating, annoying gas that you are still in. You feel yourself getting ready to start coughing out loud, but you manage to kind of catch yourself and just like... and... excuse me. Unlike me, managed to kind of cough fairly quietly so you don't alert anything or anyone of your location.
Do I see farther down?
You notice that.
Do I hear anything other than water?
Not really. You do hear water. Do you poke your head through to look in the rest of the room? That way I can just give the description once.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I will do this then. Beep, beep. Boop. This hall is strewn with mud and flotsam. Water accumulates in the center of the corridor and flows westward, where a stone block in the southern wall has shifted slightly out of place. The corridor turns north, and the flow of water follows it, then goes under a door made of bronze-bound wood. The door has a handle and a keyhole.
Okay. At this point, I would go back and inform the group of what I saw.
Okay.
The hallway continues. There's a door. There's two doors, actually. One's needs a keyhole. It's bronze wood. That's about it.
Okay.
We should try to open this large one first, in my opinion,
Okay.
since there are more of us here and a larger
open the door.
area to fight.
Unless if it's locked.
I don't believe it is locked because there is no link to the next room. That is what you see. You see some the water continuing to flow northward, and it flows down over a set of descending steps. As hold on, I gotta move maps and maps and maps, and you will see it opens into a large area. All right, cool.
Holy
Bam.
sh!
Okay. The doors to this room are made of bronze and are tinted blue from oxidation. Just inside the doorway are two small alcoves. Each space contains an old fountain, cracked and crusted with lime. Around the fountain in the eastern alcove, a heap of rubbish litters the floor. The fountain in the western alcove still holds some green, scummy water in which something moves. A short hall ending in descending steps leads to the central chamber, which is flooded. A dark, foul pool covers the entire floor. A central hall, flanked by narrow aisles, is defined by two rows of massive square columns. The walls are coated with slime, and there are glowing silver lines etched across all of them. From what you can see of the chamber's walls, the stone appears to be crudely worked, as opposed to the rest of the areas you have been to so far. Two corroded bronze braziers stand in the pool. Toward the middle of the room, two broken urns, each one apparently about 4 foot tall at once, poke out of the water. In the darkness on the eastern wall appears to be an enormous growth of an overall greenish hue that gives off to the same silvery gleam as the slime trails. And before anybody asks,
At this point, Firm would say there was water in the hallway. I looked. Had to come from somewhere, right? Or had to lead to somewhere. Maybe it led to this. We saw something move, right?
in the yes, the eastern alcove, you saw something move.
Yeah.
You saw some type of movement, but you didn't really see what it was. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, you go check the western alcove, Verm. And you notice that the dark scummy water that is in there is filled with algae, and there are some bullfrogs raising a brood of tadpoles in the water. Toby is excited.
Well, wait, where was this?
The
Sorry,
western alcove.
Okay, this whole direction is messing with me. That's why I asked.
Yeah, the bottom one, I believe.
Yeah. Tharlook are gonna be fucking talking bullfrogs. they're gonna...
Send in the frog and close the door.
No, it's gonna be a massacre.
Zosa steps through cautiously.
I will stealthily walk through. Or attempt to. Not this though.
Zosa's not really trying. She's used to being loud. Is this like a ledge? Can I see over the top of this wall thing,
No,
or
it's an alcove.
so? Okay, so that's a solid wall there. Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, this silvery whitish slime trailed from the previous room to this pool, by the way that description reads. Correct?
It's a good estimation.
So whatever's making this trail is probably in that water.
Zosa will check the well to the bottom here to see if there's anything inside.
The bullfrogs.
All right, Torrent, you step into there.
Yes. We were waiting for it. You drown.
You'll notice that the fountain definitely looks the water looks very cloudy. Somehow you can kind of catch a glint of what appears to be a small type of amulet that lies in the water. However,
I'm glad I'm not
It's
burned.
it's an AA coin.
yeah. However,
Oh, I need one of those.
It's a 10-year chip.
as you step into there to check, you disturbed a nest of sorts as a swarm of rats comes out to say hello to you.
Can I dive out of the room as a reaction?
Ratatouille.
I mean, you kind of can, but everybody roll me initiative.
Oh, okay. This is so. All right. So what do you mean, kinda can?
If you roll higher than them.
Does it depend if I roll higher? Yeah.
I'm actually on top of initiative order.
As you should be with
Where
the
you
plus
belong.
9.
It is. It should be.
Yeah.
And I have that initiative card, or the
All right, Vern.
inspiration card. I don't even know if I noticed the rats. I guess I'll make a perception check.
Sure. I'll say with disadvantage because you are kind of checking out the other alcove.
Yeah, nothing's
Eh.
happening.
And you don't really hear much.
I guess I'll just kind of do the same thing Zos is doing.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Yin.
I'd be focused on like looking at the slime trail and seeing if I can see down. I know you said it was murky brown water. Is there any visual at all down into it, or
Nope.
any like pebbles or small rocks here?
Being that we're in combat, give me a perception check.
Bup.
Pretty much the description that is in the chat is pretty much all you can make out at this current moment.
Okay.
But you do hear something scuttling around in the area where Torrent went to go look.
20, 25. I guess I'd see the rats by the time I walked in.
Yeah, you can start to see the rats starting to swarm out of their
Okay.
nest.
I'll go 30 feet and hold an action. If they come within striking distance, I will swing on them.
Okay.
That'll be my turn.
Cool. Band-Aid.
You're muted.
He passed his turn to me, so I guess
I don't know anything's going on, so
Okay. Torrent.
I'll jump in and make a few quick attacks. Let's have a stab with the spear. Ignore the ammo.
Forgot to load your spear.
Yeah. That's what you don't know. It's got exploding tips, you know. I just don't have any right now. So,
Fair enough.
let's throw down that damage. 1. Well, you know, damage is damage, and I'll spend a key point because you know, Torrent's got a thing with rats. There's only so much room in the sewers.
Now, the cool thing about an unarmed strike is you can use any part of your body. So I just imagine you stomping the rats.
Right.
I just decimated these guys. Just drop on the floor, roll around, squish all the rats. And I get to disengage for free. So I'm going to move out here. And I'll let the party know who I can see. So Zosa, Borg, Band-Aid. I'm going to let them know that there's a swarm of rats in this room next to me.
Okay.
To my east.
Alrighty. Rat's turn. Well, Yin, you're the only one there. Held actions will go off.
Ready.
All right. Wow. First attack roll.
Sick.
I know, right? Pow, pow.
Color me surprised.
Me too. I mean, it's a rat swarm. They only have a +2 to attack. I was like, oh, this is going to be quick and easy. I stand corrected. Yin, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Wait, didn't Yenia get an attack as well? She had a ready to action.
She does.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for him to finish doing his.
All right,
his rolls.
you're good. Go ahead, do
Alright.
your attack. Because basically the
Alright.
attacks happen at the same time. So.
And do I get both swings on a ready to action? I don't remember if it's just 1 or 2.
You ready an action, whether it's attack or cast a spell or something like that.
Okay.
You don't get the full attack action.
Okay, so I just
From
have the one
from
attack.
how I understood it, because you're.
I might be confusing it with Pathfinder, so
Yeah.
that's it for me. Then it's the one little poke.
Hey, that was a good little poke though.
Yeah.
Get some damages. Then that's its turn. Borg.
Damages is good.
Damage is damage.
Hex, yeah.
Org will run in. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He will move to there, giving himself advantage. Not that he probably needs it, but hey, why not?
Pretty sure that hits. If you target them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You smash the remaining little bits of these rats as they swarm about and squeeze. The rats are no more. Torrent, I will say you being resistant to acid, you will reach down into this water that is caked with lime. The amulet is made of brass and chrysoprase and is engraved with the words Lord of Snails. And that is where we're going to hold until next week. Thanks for the resubs. And Jay, thank you for the raid. we basically this whole hidden shrine thing is just getting started. It's I'll try to make it interesting for you guys. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. They will be back now that there is no convention going on this weekend, and also Rise Against the Slave Lords on Saturday night with the all-female group. And then next week should be a normal week of streaming, Tuesday through Saturday of D&D games, and maybe Monday of Duff mini painting again. We don't know. It's up to Duff. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the outro video, and hopefully we'll see you all back here soon.
See you guys.
See you, everybody.
Later.
Good night, everybody.